Next slide. So team dynamics. So let's see what's team dynamic. So the team dynamics such as group norms, group decisions making, behavior and cohesiveness, and discuss the dysfunction of teams. So objectives of team dynamics is why we learn team dynamics in order to identify what is a group norm, what is a group decision making, and what is cohesiveness. To identify all these factors, we will be learning what is team dynamics. So let's see what is a group norm. So group norm means acceptable standards of behavior within a group that are shared by the group members. So basically, what a norm is generally accepted general guidelines or rules and regulations by the group members are called as a group norm. Norms tell members what they ought to do and ought not to do under certain circumstances. From any individual standpoint, norms what is expected from members in certain situations when agreed and accepted by the group. Norms act as a main influencing of behavior of the group members with a minimum external control. There are common classes of group norms and such as performance norms, acceptance norms, social norms, allocation resource norms. So what are norms? Simply you have to remember, if you are having a notebook or something, now this is in this slide, it's very like it's a very it's explained in a very explanative manner. So just if you all have something to write, you just remember group norm is something. For a group they will have certain set of rules and regulations or do's and don'ts. Now if I form a team or group, I will be telling what to do, what not to do. Now if I say something, okay, if within my group you can't wear this sort of dress, that means that I bring a dress control within my group. So the people who are in with this particular group are only entitled to wear this particular color or this particular wear. So that is a group norm. Okay, in a group norm means something also you can say, if you are belonging to this particular group, you can't go and share the ideas and values of this particular group to another individual or another people that which may be influencing in a positive or a negative factor. So what and what you can do, what and what you can't do, the generally acceptable behavior is called as a norm, which is created by the group members and followed by the group members, which is called as a group norm. After that, we will be saying what is decision making behavior. Decision making behavior within a group is different from individual decision making. There are pros and cons of decision making. Next slide, please. Tilan sir, next slide. Okay, now decision making, now they are saying, now we are talking about what groups and teams. Now, when we take the groups and teams, individually, if we are taking a decision, we can take it very quickly because only we will be taking the decision. So whatever we think it is a positive aspect or negative aspect, we can implement it because there is only one person that who is taking or doing the analytical part and taking up the decision. But as a group, if you have to come up with a decision making, you have to consult with all the people, and then only the final output will be coming as a decision. Now there are like positive factors as well as negative factors to take decisions within the group. So we will be discussing what are the pros and cons of decision making within a group. So they are saying pros of group decision. So pros means basically it talks about the good side. That means the advantage. So it says generate more complete information and knowledge. So when you're having 10 to 20 people in your group, so 20 people's perspective and way of thinking will be different, so that you may be getting different sort of ideas and different views. So, and they will be of different knowledge levels, so you can gather information through different information sources and different of knowledge levels. After that, it says offer increased diversity of views. So as I told you, perspectives of individuals and personalities differ from each other, different viewpoints come, so you can either think of any ways which is presented by the group members. Generate higher quality decisions. You can generate a higher quality decisions is because when more of the people, knowledgeable people, skilled people, experienced people are telling their viewpoints, when they have prior experience to taking the regarding the decision, so the decisions might be accurate, so that the quality of your decisions may be in a good manner and lead to increased acceptance of solutions. So they are saying, when you are coming with a better solution, all will be accepting because it is done on a discussion basis, and all the positive abilities and the negative abilities will be discussed among the group. So there are pros when you are making a group decision making. So also, when there is pros, always there is cons also. That means the negativity or the disadvantage side is also there in a group decision making. So in a group decision making, what happens is it's time consuming. So when it is time consuming, because if 20 people are coming and saying their viewpoints, 20 viewpoints will be there. And if as an individual, I don't like if my idea is not coming in the highlighted way. If someone says, no, no, it's not a good idea, I will be getting angry, I'll be getting disappointment, and I will argue that my idea is correct and conflict may occur. So these sort of things might be there when we are taking a group decision. So it's like, because it's very time consuming. So because all will be saying their viewpoints, it is time consuming. There can be conformity of pressure. That's what I told you. When there is disagreements between people, there might be pressure. Group decisions can be dominated by one of you members. Now, as I told you, in a group, if you take few people will be there, they won't let other people to speak. Only they will be speaking and they will be telling their ideas. So other people's idea won't be listened. So these are the negativities of a group decision making. Suffers from ambiguous responsibility. Ambiguous means a confused stage. That's what we called as ambiguous. So when we are in a confused stage, so different viewpoints are coming. Now suddenly we don't know which decision to go for, whether it's east or west or what, which side to go. So this is a ambiguous responsibility. So these are the cons. That means the negativity of a group decision making. After that, decision making behavior within a group is different to an individual decision making. So these things we saw it in the last slide. Move to the next slide. So dysfunctional aspects of teams. Through synergetic effects of expected from teams, sometimes teams lead to lower productivity or dysfunction of teams can occur due to many reasons, such as group think, social loafing, and phenomenon groupthink testing, and more than judgment that result from group pressures. Groupthink tends to occur when group members have very similar experience and frames of references, particularly when they have a group. Social loafing is the tendency. Okay, now I will be explaining what is dysfunction aspects of team. So dysfunction aspects of team is something where the group or team's productivity is becoming lower. That means you don't do anything in an effective manner, where you don't have much productivity. All your activities, or the you're not reaching the goal. That means your group is dysfunctioning. So that's what we called as this functional aspects. So why this productivity is coming low is because of few things. So they are saying it's due to social logic and risky shift of phenomenon. So in that they are saying something called group think testing. So what is a group think means, like if all the if all the people are thinking like if all the people are thinking their idea is similar to each other in a group, that is categorized or known as a group think. That means where they have similar experience and similar frames of references. Now they all have got the same experience and same thing they are thinking, means all the group members are thinking of one particular thing in a way, in a common way, that is called as a group think. So social loafing is the tendency for individual to expand less effort with working collectively than with it working individually. So social loafing is something like one individual is like not putting much effort, they are relying on the other people, and they are thinking, okay, if I don't do, that people in the group they might do. So they don't care about their effort what they are making. So if each and every individual is gonna think this way, so the productivity will be low, because all have to think like, yeah, my contribution is very important in this group, so that my so that my contribution will be affecting the group as much. So in social loafing what happens is one individual is making a less effort, where other expecting others to work in a greater way. So the so instead of this group thing, fewer risk and making safer or more conservative decisions, the reverse is often the case. So they are saying due to these reasons, what is happening is dysfunctions of teams are occurring. So next one is the cohesiveness. So cohesiveness is something the degree to which group members are attracted to each other and motivated to stay in the group. Cohesiveness is something which is called as belongingness. That means you like to work in that group, you work in a collective way, you like, you don't separate yourself with your team members or group members, you work together. So that is meant by cohesiveness. Group cohesiveness as a highly positive significant effect of performance. In order to maximize productivity, it requires pay attention on building cohesiveness group and give a proper leadership. So cohesiveness is basically we tell as being united and being together. So when you all are united and being together and attracted to each other group members, so you stay motivated in achieving your group goals and objectives. So that is called as cohesiveness. Okay, so this group thing and cohesiveness will be coming to your exam, so just remember that. After that, impact of technology on team functioning. So it says evaluate the impact of technology on teams of organization. Now they are saying, now when you're working as a team or an group, how the objective, that means how the technology is being affected. So it says the nature of the technology and the workflow system of the organization is a major determinant of the operation of the teams and the attitudes and behaviors of members. New technological methods resulted in the changes in group working, social relationship and decision making. So they are saying how in an organization, when you're working in a manual way, and suddenly when the technological flow is influencing the work pattern of the people, how the people would react. This is basically the concept of how technological advancements will be helping the operations of an organization as a group. Especially technological affects the way of communication in a team. So they are saying, yeah, technological way or improvements affect the team dynamics, or team improvements can be there due to the technological advancements. So there are 5 types of communication networks, such as wheel or circle, all channel, wide channel, chains. The wheel channel is the most centralized network. So there are types of networks, that means it's more related to the technology. So this is not much concerned in the online examinations or your exams, but I will just explain you. So wheel network is something like something is centralized and as a circle. Can you remember how a wheel is? It's in the oval shape. It's in the round shape. That means center there will be some part or main part to connect all the people as a network, and your work is being done. So after that, this network is most effective for simple problems are solved very quickly with fewer mistakes and fewer information flow. So they are saying in the wheel network, very quick decision making and very quickly you can solve problems. Circle is a more decentralized network. So circle network is something which is decentralized. That is not centralized. It is decentralized. Overall, it is less efficient. The group unorganized with low leadership predictability, performance tends to be slow, and all channel network are decentralized network which involves full participation. So they are saying in a circle network, it is a decentralization structure which you follow. So in a circle network, due to decentralization, they are saying it will lead to a lower productivity. So next. So the network appeals to work best where a high level of integration is required among the all members in order to solve complex problems. So this is basically they are talking about the network problem. It's not much relevant for y'all. So in this slide, it's moreover more notes than you require. So basically, just remember the help of the technological advancement to the groups. So how just remember practically how you can, so intranet or something, so you will have group chats within your organization, not the public other apps within your organization. You will be having some group chats. That means for example, uh, now in the HR department, if you want to communicate something, you will have a common set of group where you can communicate with all departments and you can know the routine of all departments, and easily work tasks can be shared. So there are many tools like that. So some project management tools are there, some view chat messenger and stuffs are there which you can centralize to your organizations as per required by your particular organization. So networks and virtual teams use computer technology to use together physically repressed members in order to achieve a common goal. They allow people to collaborate on online by using communication links such as wide area network, video conferencing, email, virtual teams, and do all things other do such as share information, make decisions, and completing tasks. Virtual teams can include members from the same organization or from other organizations. They can convince for a long they can convene for a few days to solve a problem, a few months to complete a project, or exist permanently. The primary factors that differentiate virtual teams from face to face teams are absence of paraverbal and nonverbal clues, limited social context, ability to overcome space and constraints. Okay, this paragraph, what they are trying to say is, now basically they are in this chapter 11, they are talking about how teams and group will be aided with the technology. Now for example, you take now how we are conducting the classes. We are conducting the classes through the Zoom. So physically we are not in sitting in the classroom and studying. So through this application we are connecting to many people and we are clarifying our doubts. We are learning sessions as that in organizations also, due to the technological advancement, different applications are there, and through virtual connection, virtual reality and these stuffs you can use and connect to people and get your work done. So virtual team means something physically you don't be as a group, sit in a place and work, where you can be in different countries and work as a team. You can be in different locations or not in a physical location, not in the same geographical location. You may be in a different geographical location, but you can connect through the internet, and virtually you can work together as a team in order to achieve your common goal, which is a vision of your group or the team. So this is basically, it talks about the technological advancements and how virtually you can connect to each other and work as a team. So this is what they are saying. So when technological advancement are there, they are saying like absence of verbal communication, that means direct communication maybe not there. And social distancing, so social distancing is something when you're always virtually talking to someone, like you don't physically meet that person and talk, so emotionally you can't identify the facial expressions and stuff. They are talking about that. So this is all about it in this particular slide. Next slide please. So technological enables to have a global cross-cultural teams too. Global and cross-cultural teams refer to a collection of members, those who represent different culture and different nations who refer to a collection of members. Those who represent different cultures and different nations who work together to achieve a specific objective. So they are saying technological have enabled the global and cross-culture teams. So cross-culture teams is where different cultures people and different nations people are getting together and working as a team. Sri Lanka as an Asian country could work up with the European country. Their culture and our culture is quite different, but as a team or a group we are working virtually with a support of the technological advancement. We are working as a group or a team, so in order to achieve a specific objective. Success of these kinds of teams mostly depends on cross-cultural awareness. Cross-cultural awareness increase self-awareness, improve sensitivity to difference, increase the tendency to question our own assumptions and knowledge, and reduces ignorance, prejudge, and hatred. However, following inbuilt dangers could be identified when cross-cultural teams operate in an organization. Those are mistrust, including stereotyping, miscommunication with potential for reduced accuracy, and resultant stress and progress difficulties, that is, failure to agree when agreement is needed, or even what is constitute agreement when arriving at decisions. So here what they are saying is like when you work in a cross cultural team, you could identify different knowledge levels between different people. So due to that you can avoid certain things, like you don't want to have hatred, or you don't predetermine how that people are. And so certain stereotyping I have taught you in like chapter 5. Now when you first see a person you get an impression, so with that impression you will moving, and a common notion will be there, you will keeping that in mind and moving to people. So when you have a cross cultural function, so you may get that stereotyping and stuff. So as working as a team, most of the time you have to avoid those stuffs and work as a team in order to achieve your goals and objectives. Next. uh yeah, okay. So that's all about for the 11th chapter. So if you all are having any doubts, you can ask. So I will be concluding the session today by 6. So the chapter 11 I have finished. So I have few parts to finish. Chapter 4 is there, and managerial grid is there pending in chapter 9. So by next class I will be finishing chapter 4 and that. So if you all have any doubts regarding the 11th chapter, you can ask. No doubt? Students, are you there? No doubt? Yeah. Who is that? I heard someone calling Miss.
Richard.
யாரு?
Richard.
Oh, இப்ப
Richard,
என்ன
ஏதும் question இருக்கா மிஸ்டர் கேக்க?
No, sir. No, miss.
you don't have?
No,
Okay,
miss.
so
Don't have.
I think okay, then I'll conclude this. So chapter 10 and 11 basically talks about the group and team. So so this is, I don't think like much questions are there. So cohesiveness, you remember, say like working together as a team, and you with the bonding you work, that is cohesiveness. And group think is something which all the people have same experience and referring to one thing. So these two questions I remember seeing in the online examinations. And virtual teams, you know, like not connecting physically, through a technological basis you build up your team, so that is a virtual team. So these are question in your online examination. And next class, please attend. I think by next class we can finish our OB class. So with chapter 4 all the chapters is being completed. Okay,
Miss
so
மறுபடியும்
I
கொஞ்சம்
will
cohesiveness கொஞ்சம் சொல்லுங்க.
என்னம்மா
Cohesiveness.
கோஹெசிவ்னஸ் வந்து நாங்கள் இப்போ ஒரு குரூப்பாக வேலை செய்யும் போது எல்லாரோடையும் பிரச்சனை பண்ணாமல் ஒத்துமையாக வந்து சேர்ந்து ஒரு விஷயத்தை அடையிறதுக்காக ஒர்க் பண்ணுறது தான் கொஹெசிவ்னஸ்ன்னு சொல்லி சொல்கிறது. ஒரு குரூப்பாக நாங்கள் ஒற்றுமையாக சேர்ந்து ஒர்க் பண்ணுறது தான் கொஹெசிவ்னஸ்ன்னு சொல்லி சொல்லுவோம். குரூப் கொஹெசிவ்னஸ்ன்னு அதுக்கு தான் சொல்லுவோம். சரியா? ஓகே. So next class will start the chapter 4, and some small parts are there. Chapter 4
Yeah,
oda சேர்த்து
Mintzberg and Enthusiasm.
yeah, Mintzberg and managerial grid, Mintzberg managerial grid, and formation of group, like how a group will be forming, that I have to do. So chapter 4 maximum with 2 class we can finish OB, right? So that 3 theories, and the chapter 4 we will be finishing the OB session. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then I'll leave the class.
Bye,
Thank you
miss.
for
Be
attending.
safe.
Bye.
No, no.
Thank you, miss.
It's over. Yes.
Thank you.
Bye, friends. Bye, friends. Be safe.
Thank you, miss.